At Home with Lucas here. So today we're going to be talking about the MSI 34-inch curved gaming monitor. Yes, people, I finally got my hands on an MSI monitor. It's been a long time, but I'm gonna be putting this bad boy to the test. This thing is packed full of a lot of features, and I'm hoping it's as good as the hype. This thing is 34 inches, it's 21:9 aspect ratio, which means you're gonna get a more immersive gaming experience, but you're gonna have a few things here or there that aren't as good as a 16:9. This thing is also really curved with a 1000 R curve radius. Yes, people, this thing is going to really pull you in and be super immersive. Not to mention the fact that it has the 180 hertz refresh rate and the 1Ms, so you're gonna be getting a butter smooth gameplay. At least that's what we hope, fingers crossed. This thing also has a whole bunch of other tricks up its sleeve, giving you the ability to adjust this thing all the way up and all the way back down. But is it tall enough? Is it functional enough? Is it something that's gonna cause you to be a little bit annoyed? We won't know until the very end of this video. So in this video, we're doing a hands-on with the box, quick unboxing and first impressions on said MSI monitor. After that, I'm putting this bad boy to the Adam Lucas test to figure out, is it something you should buy or maybe skip altogether? I'm here for you, so don't have to waste your time buying and returning. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, let's take a look at this bad boy right quick. So this is the MAG345CQR. This, of course, is a 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. All right, people, let's get inside this box. All right, there we go. Let's do our full-blown unveiling like I love to do. We're gonna take this off. So pro tip, you leave this on until you get it fully mounted, then you pull it off. And that way you don't get any fingerprints all over your screen, which is really nice. And you get a little unveiling. Wow. All right, that is very curved. That is quite curved. Things that I like about this stand right off the bat is it's metal, or at least as far as I can tell right now, it's metal. Things I don't like is it's massive. This might be the winner for the biggest stand in the world. And you would kind of think that this stand would be for a 38-inch, 42-inch, but not a 34-inch. This stand almost sticks out further than the 34-inch monitor. So that is quite bananas. Let's look at the curve from the top right here. This part back here may be problematic for wobbliness, so we'll test that later on. Let's go ahead and get it to the main desk and take a closer look. All right, this is my current monitor right here. We're gonna pop this one out and put the new one in. All right, and there we go. So first impressions, very curved. I'm liking the curve radius. It's very similar to the Samsung Odyssey I reviewed, the G5. I don't like that stand at all. It is so massive, and the whole monitor is sticking out from the wall pretty far, as you can see right here. So it does not go back. It's literally taking up more than half of my desk, just monitor alone. But there's the curve radius right there. So that is a proper curve radius for sure. But yeah, there we go. That's how it looks on the desk. I'm gonna give it 1 thumb up out of 2. All right, let's talk about multitasking on an ultra-wide monitor. So as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards opened up. That means you can really get into a lot of stuff on this monitor and not have to jump back and forth from app to app or from web page to web page. You can literally just throw them in. And if you have Windows 11, you're gonna be able to snap them in super easily, which is awesome. And the real reason why you can do this actually is because of the pixel density. So if you look at the smallest text on this screen, you're gonna be able to read that crystal clear, no problem whatsoever. And that is because of the 1440p resolution with the 21:9 aspect ratio. So if you're someone who needs to multitask, you have to multitask, you must multitask. You need an ultra-wide monitor, and this one right here does a great job. The text is very crisp and clear, and this is the best image quality setting I have set the monitor on. I had to go through a bunch of different adjustments here or there to find the everyday use. Of course, when you're gaming, you could jump straight into gaming on this thing super easily and change up the adjustments in the settings, which we're going to do next. Okay, so I wasn't actually able to game at 180 hertz on this monitor. I had to drop it all the way down to 120 because of glitching problems, which more than likely were caused by this monitor, as I've reviewed other 180 hertz monitors with zero glitching. So that was really disappointing right off the bat. I was like, this kind of sucks. But 120 hertz with 1 M's refresh rate, I was actually very impressed. So it was very smooth, really enjoyable to game on. But just know that you may buy this for your Windows PC and you may plug it in and have glitching like I did. I dealt with this before in the past with another monitor where I was not able to get it up to 180 hertz. I had to drop it down to 120, but most 180 hertz monitors on my PC work perfectly, so definitely take note of that. Okay, so while this game is loading up, let's talk about how easy it is to raise and lower. So this thing can raise and lower really easily. It's not as butter smooth as a Dell. You can of course tilt it back if you need to get really creative with your work, tilt it forward a little bit, and then raise it all the way back up. Now this is not the tallest monitor. I've actually dealt with a monitor that went up another 3 inches, believe it or not. So this one doesn't go as high, which means you're gonna have to sit a little bit lower or have a taller desk. Let's talk about gameplay on this bad boy when it comes to the Batman game. So once again, I found it to be very smooth. As you can see in the top left corner, it's running at 120 hertz. We're going to go through some more settings in this gameplay in a second, but here you go. You can see just how butter smooth it is. I did put it on a faster speed to make the gameplay go by a little bit quicker so you can see more gameplay with less time. So take note of that. This is not actual speed of this monitor. The game in particular is being stretched out, and I'm going to show you that in a second. We're going to go into the aspect ratio. We're going to switch it from 21:9 and we're going to go back to auto. So when it goes to auto, it's going to put the aspect ratio to the game itself. So this game is a 16:9 game, and it's actually going to shrink it down a little bit, and you're going to see black bars on either side. So that is definitely something that you're going to experience with console gaming. So a lot of console games will just stretch it out to fit the monitor, and this one is one of those games that you're going to have that on, so it will stretch it out. So we're going to show you that in just 1 second. So here we go. We're going to go back into the settings, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to switch it, and you're going to see the black bars appear. There they are. So this is the native way that this game wants to play in 16:9, and you're going to find this with a lot of games on ultra-wide monitors, whether you're on a PlayStation, an Xbox, a PC, it doesn't matter. Whichever device you're on, if the game was never designed to work for 21:9, this is how it's going to look. Black bars on either side. So some people can live with it. I personally can't. I really don't like it at all. So I will always go back in and I will force it to be 21:9, which looks a little bit stretched out, but it makes the immersion that much better. So take note of that. If you're buying an ultra-wide for a PlayStation, an Xbox, a PC, you will have certain games that will be stretched out and certain games that will have black bars on either side. Okay, so I went ahead and set my phone to 30 frames per second, and this is typically when you're going to be able to see the banding happening. I think that's what it's called, where it kind of like flows through. I can also adjust my exposure and make it lower, and sometimes it'll show up a little bit more, but I'll stick it with this exposure right here. And then of course, if you open up something that's a white web page, you'll see it even more. So let's just go ahead and open up this right here. So if there was going to be anything happening, you'd see it right now, where you'd see those bars just flowing across the screen. I don't see anything on my end. Once I stop recording, of course, I'll be able to watch it back and see what's happening. This, of course, is 120 hertz refresh rate right here. All right, here we go. We have the UFO test running right now. This is going to give you a bunch of information about this monitor, which you can compare it to your existing monitor that you have right now. I literally just loaded this. I didn't adjust anything. We're going to go ahead and start to adjust it right now. So we will change the pixel to 1440. So that is what this monitor runs, 1440. And then we're going to adjust the UFO count to max. And so there you go. You can really see how this pixel count is running. Once again, I have it on 120 hertz refresh rate, not the 180. But there you go. All right, now we have the ghosting test going right now. And once again, this is stock. I didn't adjust anything yet. I'm going to just give it a second to run so you can compare it to your monitor when you just simply load up UFO test blur busters. All right, now let's go ahead and adjust it to a higher pixel density. Here we go. 1440. Okay, so there you go. You have all the information. Okay, let's talk about HDR mode on this monitor. So it does say that it has full-blown HDR mode, but what I noticed is the only way to activate it is you have to go into your Windows PC, if you have a Windows PC, and turn it on. So this is HDR mode on, and then I'm going to turn it off real quick. And then this is HDR mode off, and it looks 100 times better off. We'll turn it back on, and you'll see it looks completely washed out and terrible, which is what happens quite often with HDR mode being turned on. And if you go into the settings, you can now see that the HDR mode is turned on. And that's the only way I found to actually turn it on. I've gone through all the settings, adjusted all of these, and none of them will activate HDR mode. So here we go. This is a very dark game, and the HDR mode has brightened it up pretty well, I should say. And if I go to first person shooter, it looks actually quite good. It looks a little bit better on camera, I think, than it does in real life. So it just basically makes everything super, super bright. But there you go. That's HDR mode on this bad boy. Okay, I've been using this monitor for long enough that I think I have a full star rating. Let's start off with the stand down here. So this thing is massive, and it really doesn't get any smaller. It takes up a huge portion of your desk. It's quite bananas. Not to mention the fact that this doesn't really give a lot of support. As you can see here, I can literally wobble this thing around, shake it all over the place. If I bump my desk, the monitor will start to vibrate a little bit, so it's not the best support. You can see I'm pushing right here, and it just kind of moves all over the place, and that's basically because all the support is on that little piece right there. So this thing is very, very curved, and it sticks out from the wall a crazy amount. Like most monitors will sit back here. This one sits all the way up here, and then it curves out. The RGB lights going. Once again, it doesn't brighten up the wall at all, so you're not going to get any sort of light effect. The curve radius is 1000R, which is really, really nice. It does allow you to get immersed in what you're doing, which is really, really nice. The pixel density of this monitor is good, but it's just not the best. The text, the clarity, the image is just not the best. Everything I've done to really try to maximize this image quality and make it look as good as I like it, I never could get it there. So it's not the best panel out there. It's not the best for gaming. I dealt with a big problem at 180 Hertz. It would glitch. At 160 Hertz, it would glitch. 120 was perfect. So take note of that. You may have glitching problems with your PC. I can't say the same for console gaming. Look at the thing is massive. It really takes up a huge amount of real estate. And if you don't have a large desk, you're probably gonna want to skip this altogether. Not to mention the fact that it's definitely on the wobbly side. It's not cool. I don't like that at all. Everything about it is just wobbly, and for a stand that's that big, it shouldn't be that way. The ability to adjust it up and down is nice, but still doesn't really stand out in my opinion. So I'm going to give this thing a solid 4-star rating. I'm going to say that it does have some good features, which is why it's not getting anything below 4 stars, but it's not my favorite monitor. It has a lot of things that need to be updated on it and fixed. I think if they do that, it could be a phenomenal monitor. For my first MSI monitor review, I have to say I'm a little bit underwhelmed and disappointed by this panel particular. I will, of course, review more MSIs in the future. So definitely buyer beware. Know that it could be perfect for you, 5 stars, or it could be just like I'm saying, 4 stars and just decent. So buy it if you understand all the pros and cons. All right, there you go. That's the MSI 34-inch curved gaming monitor. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely click that like button. And if you want to join the Adam Lucas family and you want to be a part of this crew, smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.